whenever there's any kind of public incident where loss of life or serious injuries are in the front of everybody's mind, I think that it's always good to remind folks that you should be carrying medical equipment wherever you go. It should be in your car, all of your cars. It should be in your house. It should be on your person, et cetera, et cetera. And I just want to remind you all that we have a discount code at Medical Gear Outfitters. So if you aren't squared away, then you can obtain those items at a reduced rate, so that you can be. And what we're going to talk about here today is the anti-ice shooting that just occurred. And I'm going to say that it's anti-ice because that's what they wrote on the bullets as they were targeting ICE agents. I'm using bullets loosely. That's obviously written on the cartridge case, and there's some other scribblings that we can't make out on one of the other rounds in the stripper clip there. And this was recovered at the crime scene, and this was an image that was posted by Kash Patel. And I guess what I would like to do today is go ahead and throw my hat in the ring and say that I believe that this is a 8mm Mauser that was used based on the ammunition. Now, of course, I don't know who taught these people at the FBI how to take photographs, but this is what we have. It was taken on a potato, but if we take this image and put it into Photoshop, I've pulled a similar image of 8mm Mauser ammunition, and I'm going to superimpose these for you so that you can see that this is the image that was taken from the crime scene after the individual did what they did and then did themselves. And then I'm going to fade it into an image of confirmed 8mm Mauser. Now, this is the only image that we're going to use today because while there is another image out there that will confirm that this is some sort of Mauser, I can't use that image because it contains splattered communist in various poses from different angles, shall we say.
So, what's the symbology there?
I see patterns. Do you guys see a pattern? Scribbling on the cartridges. That comes from a particular place, right? A place that was recently designated as a particular type of organization. But also, I would say that I find it ironic that we have a series of politically motivated incidents perpetrated by the anti-fascists that are literally using fascist weaponry. There are lots of manufacturers around the world that manufactured the Mauser action, everywhere from Turkey to Argentina. The Germans did it. Lots of places did it, right? It was based on the German design, however. And there's no way I'm going to be able to tell you what the origin was, but I do find it interesting and ironic that the weapon that was used to politically assassinate Charlie Kirk by a leftist was a Mauser action. It could be, it definitely is a sporterized version of the action. That doesn't necessarily mean that it wasn't an old gun that was sporterized later. That shooter did allege that it was his grandfather's gun, which checks out that, fuddy people do that sort of stuff. Neither here nor there. The only thing that gives me a little bit of pause on that one is that the barrel seems to be tapered, which may mean that it is a modern rebarrel. But there were plenty of guns that were of the era chambered in 30-06 for that one. Now, this one, as far as the images that I can see, this looks to be more of a vintage. There's no way I'm going to be able to tell you where it was manufactured, but it's definitely a Mauser based on the bottom metal and stuff like that. And it also appears to not be scoped, which would be consistent with the use of stripper clips. Now, I'm not saying that you can't use stripper clips with particular types of optic setups, but I'm just going to throw it out there that based on what we know about this dude, that he didn't know that. I use the word ironic on purpose because I don't think that there's any kind of like larger conspiracy going on here where they're specifically using those types of weapons to send any kind of message, because I don't think that these people are intelligent enough to be able to draw those kinds of inferences. I think that likely what this is again, the Mauser action is very, very popular. There have been millions upon millions of them made over the course of the last ever so odd years. Hang on a second. 1895. It's been around for a minute, right? It was adopted by the German army in 1898. So since then, like I said, it's been manufactured by a whole bunch of different folks. There are modern renditions of the action made by a whole bunch of different manufacturers. I think my brother owns two 98s, and they're everywhere. And I don't believe that it's a stretch whatsoever to say that this is likely another instance of a stolen weapon. This thing was probably lifted by a unstable, indoctrinated, basement-dwelling, vitamin D deficient loser from a parent or grandparent or something like that. These things are very collectible, and they are pretty ubiquitous. Again, different calibers, different, manufacturers, all that sort of stuff. In fact, as I alluded to, my brother owns a couple, but like the vast majority of my knowledge on the 98 came from a guy that I used to work with at a lab somewhere. If you know who you are, then I'm talking about you. Don't out yourself or anything, but that was what he did. He traveled around the world to find new caches of these, like when they were unearthed or uncovered, or they became up for sale, and his thing was to go get them and bring them back legally, of course, right? But that was, some people collect stamps, some people collect coins. This dude collected Mausers. So we probably won't get a country of origin or anything like that. Like I said, this looks like a milsurp thing, but just know that it could be from any number of countries. It could be Yugo, it could be Czech, it could be Argentine, it could be German. Like, there's a whole bunch of different things that could be out there, right? But I guess what I would say, going back to irony, is, these cowards always end up taking that route and offing themselves. So this anti-fascist used fascist weaponry on himself. And if that isn't ironic, then I don't know what is. And if it seems like I am being sort of tongue-in-cheek here, if it seems like I'm being overly animated, I am done with the reverent approach to this. Because while this is a tragedy, and yes, some folks did lose their lives in this instance, he actually took the lives of several folks, like I said earlier, that were being detained by ICE. Epic fail. While that is horrible and awful, I think that we as a people need to mercilessly ridicule these folks. They should be made fun of to no end, because these people do this to get famous and go out with a sense of infamy. That is the profile of these psychos. Instead, I think they should be the butt of every joke. And I would ask your help here today to spread that message around. That's what I got for you. Follow me on X, and as we get more information, I'll put it out over there. I won't be able to make as many videos. I've got some business stuff going on, and I just simply am not going to be able to have time for over the course of the next couple days to handle that. I got some big stuff that I'm working on. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see another one here at the VSO Gun Channel. I think that it's safe to say at this point in time that we can amend the term to mean something different when we say it's the usual suspects.